Hi and welcome to Racket Abuse. Racket Abuse is the new segment from Overruled. It's a segment where we're going to talk about the top stories in tennis, the gossip. We're going to talk about some interviews. We're going to discuss the outside of the match, even though sometimes this happen in the match, but the things that are trending in the tennis world. On today's episode, we're going to talk about Tsitsipas versus Altmaier. We're going to talk about the trending subject of the US Open, which is Taylor Townsend versus Elena Ostapenko. And we're going to talk about Osaka versus Mouratoglou, Tsitsipas versus Goran. And last subject we're going to talk is about the CEO and thief of caps for small children, Pierre Svzrenk, some Polish dude. Okay, on the first subject, we're going to talk about Tsitsipas Altmaier. I thought it was a bit ridiculous what Tsitsipas said at the net, that if you're going to do underarm, I will hit the ball at you, because Tsitsipas always hit the ball towards his opponents. It's not the first time. It's not going to be the last. And I think it's like a lame excuse to justify what he did on that match, when he did before to Alcaraz and to Djokovic, I believe. He did so many players. So you can't come now and say, oh, it's because you did this that I did that, when you are kind of famous for doing that. Even if I was playing against Tsitsipas and I had to come to the net, I know he was going to aim at me, because it's a thing that he does all the time. So I do not understood that lame excuse or explanation, or saying there was like it only happened because, which is not even true. Also talking about Tsitsipas, but in this case not Stefanos but Apostolo. Tsitsipas said that Goran Ivanovic should not have spoke publicly about what's going on with his son after the coaching. Well, I think Tsitsipas is a player who likes to talk. I mean that by Stefanos, who likes to talk publicly a lot about the things. So if you dish, you can be open to handle it too, or to get it back at you. So I think I got the point of Apostolos. I think maybe it could be nicer if they had discussed that prior. But judging by Tsitsipas, I think Goran are spot on in everything he said. And sometimes you can call it an alarm call, something to wake up Tsitsipas, which obviously it didn't happen because he went back to his father as a coach. And I thought it was a bit. First of all, I thought he passed so much time. I thought no, but also maybe the interview was done before or prior, a month ago, and he just brought it up. Then we're gonna go to Osaka versus Mouratoglou. It's not a real feud; it's a made-up feud by me. It is the fact I find funny that Osaka is actually having her best results after the split with Mouratoglou, which is not surprising for me. I think Mouratoglou sometimes is more of a cloud chaser than focused tennis. I also don't understand why Elena Rybakina, coach, was penalized, even though there are two different ways. But he cannot attend her matches because of his behavior. But yet Mouratoglou, who had a hand on what happened to Halep, is able, no penalty, not took from matches, nothing. Nothing ever happens to him, which I find that it's very weird that the federation attacks some coaches but then let other coaches go by with no problem. And I think maybe he's discriminatory and he's more toward Eastern European players or coaches than it actually happens to European ones. So then we have the subject of the week, which is Taylor versus Ostapenko. I think Ostapenko was just salty in the end. I think because Ostapenko, I understand, but when the ball hits the net and your opponent puts his hand up, is more of it's not a rule. You don't have to. Is some politeness or so she should not be expecting that. Plus, I don't think it was because of that she lost her match. I think that's a lame excuse, especially when the last set was 6-1. So I don't think that is the valid reason. I think Ostapenko is having an up and down season. Like always, she always have up and down seasons. She got a lot of she got victories over Swiatek again, and I think she likes when that happened. But then with Taylor, maybe she looked down on her and thought it will not be so much like that, or I don't know. But I think Taylor played a great match and really created trouble to Ostapenko. Was it racist? I don't think it was. I am a Portuguese person, and in Portuguese we say educated means educação. It's about manners. It's not about studies. So if you attend college or not. Plus, let's be honest, 99% of the tennis players don't even have an education. So it didn't even make sense. So I got what she said, her apology-ish, because she never mentioned Taylor. So I think it's like kind of half-ass apology. But I understand what she means, because as a not native English speaker myself, sometimes words mean differently depending to the if you are a native English speaker or not, because you think in your brain in your native language and then you translate it and you speak. While so therefore there could be like some problems with some words. So I think people were blowing this out of proportion and make it more than it actually was. I think it was not a racist. Was she salty? Oh yeah, 1000%. And then we go to another trending story, which is the CFO that stole the cap from a children. Is the second biggest thief in Polish biggest thief. I think he's from Poland. So the first one being Bibi Netanyahu, and then we have Piotr Svrazenk, whatever is his name. It's funny enough, he said he was teaching the kid a lesson, but now he's like crying over all the media attention and people tagging and the memes and whatever, and threatening to sue, which is so on trend for these people, because they have like, oh, I'm doing this, I'm teaching a lesson, whatever. But then when it happens to them, they immediately go to legal action. Why? Because they are weak ass people. That for some reason or not, they keep profiting of other people. They keep using other people, because as a CEO, I'm sure he does. I have no questions on that. But then they are the most sensitive ones. So if you want a dish, you have to be able to take it. And now it's time to everyone go, give him some love, and show him that stealing from children, it's never okay. Whatever excuse he makes is never okay. So this is all for Racket abuse, and I see you in the next video. Bye!